All right, folks, welcome to Utah. Paul Jones, Eric Smith about to join me inside the practice facility where the Utah Jazz work out. The Raptors just around the corner in the hall getting their paces in for tomorrow night's game against the Jazz. And Eric, we're sitting here doing a little work, waiting to get into practice and do the interviews. And the team is 1-2, but 8 points, 2 losses, 1 by 5, 1 by 3, that close to being 3-0.
You know, we've done this so many times in the past, and I know it frustrates a lot of people, but I can't imagine that some of you don't do that as well. Play that would've, could've, should've game. When you think back to opening night, the Raptors offensively under 40%. I think it was around 38% on opening night against the Knicks, and it could have gone either way. It came down to the final minute where you had a possession to potentially tie the game and maybe look to send it to overtime. You lose that game. You go into the game last night as well. The Raptors comes down to a final possession. You've got a chance to tie the game, maybe send it to overtime. You lose that game. So it's been there. The opportunities have been there. To me, I'm more frustrated by last night's loss than I was the loss to the Knicks. Opening night, trying to get out the jitters and the kinks and everything else. Okay, it was a close game. You could have had that one. But last night, Jonesy, it's always hard when you lose a 17-point lead on the road. It was really a tale of two halves. The Raptors dominated the first quarter, did a pretty decent job of staying in it in the second quarter, but then the second half was utter domination for Sacramento, especially in that fourth quarter.
Well, Sacramento Kings shoot 55% in the second half. They did a tremendous job having the will to come back. They were spurred on by their home crowd. It was opening night for them. And if you're a Toronto fan and Toronto player, you just knew the storm was coming. You wondered if you had enough groceries and had the supplies to weather it, and they didn't. And you know, you talked about the fast break points last night, Eric, after getting out and running.
21
in the first half, nothing in the second half. And Jay Triano talked about that. Well, that was because Sacramento's scoring, and they're not missing as many shots, and there are fewer opportunities to run. I'll say this, the one thing that I was encouraged by last night was the play of DeMar DeRozan. Did a terrific job, tied a career high, did a pretty decent job guarding Tyreke Evans. And, you know, if not for a bounce or a rebound or, you know, a play here or there, you know, they could be looking at 2-1. That said, it's over, it's done. They're in there working for tomorrow night against the Jazz. And here's a team that's 1-2, got off to a bit of a shaky start in the first 2 games, and then just bounced Oklahoma City 120 plus or 120 points in that win. So you know they'll be ready to go home tomorrow night. They always are. Well,
and it's always a tough place to play, as you say, playing in that arena, Energy Solutions Arena. I mean, it's unbelievable. It is so loud in there. It is ridiculously loud. We broadcast actually from the back of the the back of the lower level of the lower bowl section, and we're right in the midst of the crowd, and it is loud in there. And Reggie Evans will get a big test tomorrow as well with a guy like Al Jefferson. You know, you thought you had a pretty big test yesterday with the big front court of the Kings, and Reggie goes out for 19 rebounds, 10 coming in the first quarter. One thing that has to change at some point, or will it, is Reggie Evans and Andrea Bargnani holding down the front court positions for the Raptors. And if memory serves me right, I saw the stat last night, somebody had it up on Twitter, I think, where Bargnani Jonesy is averaging over 23 points and just over 3 rebounds, whereas Evans is averaging over 16 boards, but under 3 points. So I don't think you're going to get much more scoring from Evans, maybe a little bit more. I don't know that he can keep up 16 per game going, but those rebounding totals you would think have got to rise a little bit for Andrea so that Reggie isn't stuck doing everything every single night.
Well, and you know, they didn't get great play last night from the bench. There were guys that I thought could have given them a little bit more. Had tough nights. That's the way it goes. You turn the page.
Well, you need to get more from Barbosa and Sonny Weems, right?
You know, and I wonder how much Barbosa's wrist is.
And Amir Johnson.
I wonder how much Barbosa's wrist is bothering him. Amir Johnson seems to be, you know, victim to this reputation that he has amongst the referees, getting really chintzy foul calls. Hopefully some of that's going to change going forward.
All right, so if anything comes from practice today once they get off the floor, then we will update the vlog, or we'll do another one. Otherwise, same starting 5 expected for tomorrow. We'll be at shoot-around in the morning. We'll file another vlog then either way, and we'll have all the information for you. We're the only ones here in the media. The other guys that are on the road, unfortunately, we're traveling today, so this is it, representing the Toronto media at practice today. So if you're looking for updated information on the Raptors, this is the only place to get it.
This is it, folks, and we'll be with you tomorrow after shoot-around with more information.
Let's give you a quick little shot of the Utah Jazz practice facility.